All my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life, look, all my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life, look.
The higher you get, the harder it gets. That's life.
Because this is a war. It's a fight, it's a battle.
So, how long have you known each other?
You see that man right there? Do you remember him?
Curry launches a three. Puts it in the game.
No friends in the industry,
I'm just getting started, little brother.
Feels like this is going to be a part of something that we're going to add to their legacy.
I'm coming for it all.
You're the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. 3 years ago, it's been a minute since you've been out in these streets.
I walked away with some unfinished business.
I'm going to show you how good I am. Steph Curry magic here in the fourth quarter. 50 game 7 for Steph Curry.
Don't let him destroy everything you've built. Everything we've built.
What is on the line? In quite literally the most fascinating playoff series we have seen in a mighty long time.
You get Steph and LeBron, Warriors, Lakers.
Let's get it on. I can't wait.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Ball Dnt Lie podcast. This is your boy Dexter, your host, the one and only. Welcome back to another show. And we're in playoff edition right now. It's pretty crazy what y'all seen in the first round. There's too many games that kind of just circle around. It's just like I'm waiting for like the best series. And going forward, tap in. I promise you we're gonna have a lit show. So obviously, we all know the whole story, the magnitude that comes with the Steph Curry and the LeBron James. How many times they met in the NBA Finals? 3-1 as far as Steph Curry. 17 games compared to LeBron's, I think 8 or whatever it was, or 6, whatever it was. So obviously, this is probably the best rivalry we had in sports for the longest time. Obviously, in the NBA itself, we haven't really seen the same players face each other for so long in a small window. Like we're talking about like 10 years or less. So obviously, this is going to be a great series. The Warriors just tied up, the game 1-1. Hell of a game. I'll go ahead and break this stuff down to you, man. Hey, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and tap in. Hit that thumbs up if you can. Subscribe to the button. All that good stuff, man. That stuff does push the stuff to the top as far as the content on YouTube and IG Live, or as far as IG itself. And we can't wait for y'all to kick it with us the next 20 minutes because this is about to be a dope show. And you can catch us on every single streaming as far as media, social media out there. You can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, man. All over here. Facebook, we're on there. No doubt. Hey, so it's kind of crazy. I've been excited to talk about game 1, but because it was a short corner and it's going to go to game 2, I wanted to digest 2 games and then break it down to you. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So as far as game 1, there was a discrepancy between free throws, right? Obviously, the Lakers had 28 free throws compared to the Warriors 5. Obviously, the drives were almost identical. 28 drives by the Warriors, 28 drives by the Lakers. The difference was that the Warriors were more slashing in and kicking out. Slashing in and kicking out. Digging in and kicking out, right? The Lakers were more actually aggressive as far as going in the paint and just attacking. Floaters here and there, alley-oop, attacking AD, LeBron, whoever else, right? So that was the difference maker as far as what happened in game 1. You have to understand, the Golden State Warriors are really good. They're really good at killing you in the third quarter. So what happened was the Lakers came in with a game plan like, hey, we cannot have the Warriors blitz us in game 1 in the third quarter because that will be the outcome. It's hard for the Lakers to come back into a deficit compared to the Warriors because the Warriors can shoot the ball and they can shoot the lights out, right? The Lakers are more about slow the game down, right? Keep it within the competitive range, As far as they're not really good at 3-point shooting at all. So they're more about like grinding it out. Per se, the Warriors, they can go on a 14-0 run, which you all had seen against the Lakers in the fourth quarter, where they kind of crept up when they had a 14-0 point lead, and the Lakers couldn't buy a basket for about 2 or 3 minutes. And that game came down very close, and then next thing you know, a couple possessions here and there were gone. Obviously, we missed a couple shots that could have been key. We lost a couple possessions. Steph Curry went for a floater, and then AD blocked him. Those things were the difference maker. I give a lot of props to the Lakers themselves. They stole game one. Obviously, they came in with a hype like they could win in that game. But LeBron James made it clear in his post-game presser before he actually went to the press conference, just on the court itself. This is what he said about how they can actually come back and hopefully win another game as far as game two. Run that tape for us.
What did it take tonight?
You got to maintain focus, be able to withstand their runs. And they made a huge run at the end of that game, being down 10. But we got stops, made some free throws, got the most important stops, and was able to close out. But they ain't gonna stop. And we got to be even better in game two.
Yeah, they were up 14, and they got it down to as low as 3. You've been in those situations before when the momentum shifts. What is the key? What do you tell your guys?
You got to be able to maintain focus and keep your composure. They're the defending champions. They've won 4 championships in the last, 10 years for a reason. Actually, more than that, less than 10 years. So you got to hold your composure with this team. They drive you crazy, and it's the team that can hold their composure to, after a run like that, or they make a few threes, or Steph come a barrage of threes, or Clay, Poole. You got to be able to still maintain focus. So we got to be a lot better.
What is the key? You said it's 1 at a time. You got to get to 4. 1 doesn't do that much good. You got to get all the way to 4, right?
Rest. That's the key right now. Rest every other day.
Go rest.
Team that plays like road runners. So we got to get rest.
Appreciate it.
Right there. So obviously LeBron's saying they need rest. Rest. They're up in age, right? Obviously the Warriors are as well. But the difference between the Lakers and the Warriors is that the Warriors is more about, causing, chaos. They're road runners. They're track meet. Like they like to go up and down, like LeBron said, right? So they need rest. So let's go ahead and go into game 2, because that's what we're talking about. The difference that I really took from game 2 compared to game 1 actually is identical. Is the Warriors shot almost the same from the 3-point line. They made 21 3-pointers in back-to-back games. Obviously, they shot more in game 1 compared to game 2. But I think that they got into the paint more. They dominate more in the paint. They out rebound the Lakers as far as the big men, as far as AD and whoever else, LeBron James. If you look at it, AD only had 7 rebounds in this game, and LeBron had 7 rebounds himself. So if you combine those 2 best rebounders together, they only had a combined of 14 rebounds. That cannot happen. And on top of that, JaMychal Green showed up for us. Kevon Looney had some illness prior to the game, a couple hours before the game. So then Steve Kerr, mixed up the lineup, put in JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green's a little bit different. The difference between JaMychal Green and Kevon Looney's a rebounding machine, but he can't guard AD consistently because of the foot speed, right? AD killed Looney in the game 1. In game 2, defensively, AD was sitting in the paint in game 1. And in game 2, he couldn't do that because you got to respect JaMychal Green's 3-pointer. He's very good at the corners, shooting 38%, this season, 36% in his career. So he can knock it down. Game 1, he had 2 or 3 3-pointers, and then Steve Kerr benched him. In this game, he gives you 12, 15 points, in the span of 12 minutes or whatever it is. And that was the deciding factor of the Warriors trying to go inside and going out. AD has to respect his shot. So AD kind of went out a little bit, layup. He comes in, kick it out. So the biggest difference was game 2 when it came down to the second quarter and then the third quarter. The Warriors shot, I think they had 41 points in the second quarter, 44 points or so in the third quarter. They combined for 84 points to Lakers 47 in the third and fourth quarter. So then the Warriors has been prone. They're known. It's predicated on how they play. They come out and they kill you in the third quarter. They've been knowing that for years. And everybody who watches the Warriors or who has scouting tip of the understand Warriors, Make sure you keep them in check in the third quarter because it gives you a chance in the fourth. That's what the Lakers did in game 1. Game 2, they got blitzed. 40-something points in the third quarter, the game is gone. Now they're up by 20-something points. It's hard to dig into the game. It got to a point where Coach Ham had to bench Anthony Davis or his whole starting crew basically by the beginning of the fourth quarter. Say, hey, there's no point. Like, we tried all third quarter, we couldn't get in. We can't, there's no way for us to stop the bleeding. So they caved in, they rested the guys. The good thing about the Golden State Warriors, when they did this for all 3 quarters, I mean, Klay Thompson, kudos to you for the hell of a game you had in game 2. He played 31 minutes. That's good. Steph Curry played 20-something minutes, 27, 28 minutes. So you want you guys to dominate, but then have less minutes so they can rest for the next game. LeBron James and AD played a hell of a minutes in the first game. I think AD had 38, almost 40 minutes or whatever it is in game 1. Same thing with LeBron James. He was up there in minutes. These guys were gassed. The way you can tell, LeBron came out blitzing the first quarter. He had a couple fadeaways here and there, a couple threes in here. He was going, but they couldn't get nothing in rhythm for anybody else. You got Austin Reeves hitting, ridiculous three-pointers like he's Steph Curry. You had Schroeder making these, free throw fadeaway shots. Wasn't working. You had other guys like, Vando who, couldn't buy a basket. Air ball from the corner from the three-pointer pocket. Couldn't do nothing at all. LeBron James was the only guy who was actually consistent himself. But LeBron James can't really have, and I'm looking at stats right here, LeBron can't really have 23 points. I mean, he shot well, 10 for 18 from the field, 3 from 8 from the three-point line. Yeah, like I said, he had 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Those 2 categories is huge. LeBron James can't have 3 assists. And LeBron James can't have 23 points when AD has 11 himself. That's just, it's untenable. Like, you're not going to win games in the playoffs like that. And I think that the fact that the motion of the game, how it started, Steph Curry came out blitzing. Draymond Green was a madman running around the court like a crazy person, nonstop. Klay Thompson is going through hundreds of screens. Like, this is a marathon team. Like, these guys can run. They're track stars, right? So the Lakers got gas. I really believe that, they have to focus on game 3, and I'll break this stuff down to you in a second. But let's go about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, to me, is one of the talented players in the league by far. He can be arguably the best player or top 5 player in the league if he is motivated. If Anthony Davis is motivated, AD, a.k.a. all day, if he's motivated, he can give you 30 and 20 any night. But the difference between Anthony Davis, I believe, based off a resume, based off what we had seen, there's enough game tape, he is not that guy to be consistent. He'll come here and there and give you some crazy games like game 1. And then what happened in game 2? The difference was Draymond Green. And I give a lot of credit to Draymond Green for what he did. But Anthony Davis is superior to Draymond Green. Anthony Davis' offense is superior to Draymond's defense. But because Draymond, who's 6'7", weighs 250 pounds, and he's playing against a guy who's much bigger, probably a little bit physical than Draymond, he couldn't buy a basket. And quote-unquote what AD said in the press conference, that I took the same shots I took in game 1. The difference was those shots were short, were miserable. You should be attacking. I didn't really see a dunk by AD in game 2. I haven't. Like, if you look at game 1, there's a barrage of him going to the basket, getting off his rebounds, going like within a feet or 2, sometimes even at the rim. So that was the difference between game 1 and game 2 with Anthony Davis. The motivation, the consistency, that's a question mark, right? 11 points in game 1. Shot 5 for 11 from the field. He had 7 rebounds, matching LeBron James. That's unacceptable. 3 blocks. He still played good defensively. 4 blocks in game 1, 3 blocks in game 2, which is great. He can still anchor the defense in the paint, but you have to capitalize on rebounds. You cannot get out-rebounded by Jermichael Green. There's no way Kevon Looney, who only played about 10 minutes in the whole entire game, had 8 rebounds, and nobody in the Lakers team have 8 rebounds themselves. He basically out-rebounded your whole entire team individually, and he played less minutes than those guys. That just tells you lack of effort, not concentrating, not focusing, right? So let's go back. So AD and LeBron combined for 14 points, unacceptable. I really believe they were gassed. That's just my personal opinion. I watched the game. I watched the retapes of the highlight. Same thing, right? The Warriors play in this chaotic atmosphere. They're running up and down. They create so much chaos. It's like a high-speed chase. You know, it's a high-speed chase. Are you equipped to handle that for 7 games? And to me, it baffled me when the Laker fan base was like, yeah, we want to play against the Warriors. Yeah, we don't want to see the Sacramento Kings. Okay, what's the difference between them two? I mean, I want to know. Because obviously I know the better team is the Warriors, but the Kings are up and coming. Respect to them. They wanted to face us because they felt like we're much beatable compared to the Kings. And no disrespect to the Lakers, but that's an insult for real. Because you don't want to play against experienced players compared to people, the Sacramento Kings, who are unexperienced and are learning on the fly. Lakers are better off matching against the Kings because there's no Steph Curry that can light you up like that. There's no Klay Thompson that can light you up like that. There is no guy who can give you problems, Anthony Davis, like a Draymond Green. There is no guy who can rebound like Kevon Looney on that team. You don't have that. You have a bunch of good players. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to diss them. They're young. They still got a lot to learn. But to me, I don't think it's a slap to the face of the Warriors. But we all know that's the hate they have towards the fan base as far as the Golden State Warriors and the disrespect that these players don't get as far as Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. But going forward, right, Anthony Davis is the biggest factor, okay? Draymond Green gets all the credit in Game 2 when it comes to him guarding him. He didn't really guard him Game 1. That was Kevon Looney who guarded him majority of the time. And obviously we see what happened. Kevon Looney got cooked, right? Because there's a difference in foot speed. He's a little bit faster than Kevon Looney. But Draymond Green can give you some problems. He's very erratic. You know, he's unpredictable. You know, he can take a charge here. He can rip from over here. He can foul you. Or he can just pull the chair. You can fall down. Or he's just causing so much chaos, right? He's just very active. He's just like unpredictable in a sense. So Anthony Davis, when guarded by Draymond Green in Game 2, was 1 for 9 from the field. 3 turnovers. Plus minus, he was minus 16 when guarded by Draymond Green. And obviously, in the whole entire game, the totality of the game, Anthony Davis is minus 22. And obviously, a lot of players, when you lose by 20 points, there ain't no one in the plus category. LeBron was a minus 20-something. AD's a minus 20-something. You know, DeAndre Russell was minus 18. So all these guys are going to be in the minus category. But still, one individual player give you minus 16, that just tells you. So give credit to Draymond Green when credit is due. Obviously, we all know Anthony Davis can be dominant, but you got to give a lot of credit to Draymond Green for doing this. And we haven't talked about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson coming off of an ACL injury. Klay Thompson coming off an Achilles injury. Klay Thompson, who is not the same player defensively, but can still play defense because his length and the way his body is. Klay Thompson doesn't, like, I hear chirps here and there. I hear stuff on Twitter and social media about Klay Thompson being washed. You obviously don't know basketball if a guy is washed. There's no way Klay Thompson is washed unless you prove it to me. If you want to compare Klay Thompson compared to his old days, I'll give you that. It's a slight difference. But Klay Thompson that can just go off whenever he wants, catch and shoot, go through pin downs, flares, whatever you want to call it. Corner pocket 3, in your face, don't matter. The guy is still playing at an apex level. And in order to do that in this league, in order to do that against the best defense, quote unquote, the Lakers the last 2 months had the best defense in the league, or if not the best defense, one of the two teams, right? How does Klay Thompson go off on you? You tell me that, all right? Klay Thompson was 11 for 18 from the field. He was 8 from 11 from beyond the arc. The guy shot 61% in the whole entire game. He had an easy 30-piece. The way he was catching and just letting it go, man, it was unbelievable. Compared to Game 1 and Game 2, it's like ebbs and flows, right? Ebbs and flows, right? Game 1, to his demise, to what he said, obviously he didn't play well. He rushed a lot of shots. Game 2, he let the basketball game come to him. He was in flow. He was in rhythm. And the guy was just splashing. And I'm talking about, like, not just spot up and shoot, off a pin down, curls, flares, pop-ups, whatever you want to call it, in your face, swishes, leaners, fades. It's unbelievable what he's doing. So tip my hat off to Klay Thompson. He's the reason why the Warriors took the lead so fast in the second quarter and obviously blew him in the third quarter. And Steph Curry to him. If you don't respect Steph Curry after Game 2, don't watch basketball again. How can the Lakers literally put the game plan? Their game plan was to not allow Steph Curry to go off, meaning we're going to full court press him. We're going to trap him at half court. We're going to throw LeBron and Vando at him. And what he's been doing? Dime, 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 pass. Oh, look at that. The guy was playing at a different level. He was quarterbacking for this offense. And to Steph Curry's credit, he had 12. What did he have? 12 assists? He had 12 dimes, 20 points in the game, 27 gravity assists. If you want to look that up, go ahead and do it yourself. I don't want to kind of explain it to you guys. But Steph himself played great, knowing that for 3 quarters he was getting double teamed. And I'm not saying he was getting double teamed every single time, but more than majority of the 3 quarters, he was guarded by 2 people. He didn't have no freedom to breathe air as far as off of screens. Half court, traps by LeBron James and Vando. Half court traps by, Schroeder and Anthony Davis or Vando. These guys were trapping them, full court pressure. It's unbelievable. LeBron James, he's a GOAT. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of one-on-one going between him and Wiggs. Like, I've hardly ever seen LeBron James get double full court in this whole entire series so far. So give a lot of respect to Wardell Curry. And for the ones out there, if you don't believe me, rewatch the highlight. Go to YouTube, rewatch it. It's unbelievable what Curry's doing. But going forward, the biggest talk right now is going to be about Game 3 in L.A., right? Obviously, the Lakers and the Warriors haven't played since 1991, 30-plus years. We're talking about the 2 faces who played each other the most in the NBA Finals as far as, in the last 10 years is these 2 guys right here, Steph Curry and LeBron James. They're going to La La Land. Great place to play. And it's going to be tough in the crypto arena. I'm not going to lie. The Golden State Warriors so far in the season, when they played against the Lakers, they're 0-2. They're 0-2 against them over there. The Lakers are obviously, putting up 118 points, on the Golden State Warriors. And it's tough. In the season, it's hard to, compare it because it's much different than it is now. The Warriors are terrible on the road all season long, but they go to Game 7 and they win in Sacramento. And that just opens up to you, right? It's possible. The season is over. Playoff games are now. It's a little bit different atmosphere. So we'll see what happens. The Lakers are going to come out and obviously have some type of adjustment. They're going to have to figure out this whole thing with JaMychal Green. Okay? If the Lakers want to win, they have to utilize more players. Like Hashimura played great in Game 2 off the bench. And he was limited as far as like in the second half. I really believe if the Lakers want to be dominant, they're going to have to shy away from Vanderbilt and put in Hashimura into the starting lineup. And people think, oh my God, no. Steph Curry is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to kill you by threes, or kill you by his playmaking or his passing ability. And you have one less guy on the court who's playing that can't shoot. Vando can't shoot. Here and there he can, but that's about it. So you have a Draymond-ish kind of player, but the difference between Draymond catch a ball and he'll go in the paint and he'll kick out. Vando can't do that. That's not his game, right? So Game 3, I definitely going to see some type of adjustment. I believe, Coach Ham is going to probably utilize more as far as Hashimura in Game 3 than Vando. And LeBron James, AD can't have a decent game. They're going to have a subpar game. They have to play at their best ability. AD will have to have a mimic of Game 1 in a sense if the Lakers have a chance to win. You got to understand, AD did all that in Game 1, and they barely lost. Okay, so they have to have that kind of game from Anthony Davis. As far as the Golden State Warriors, the Warriors always adapt to whatever is getting thrown at them. They're very great at coming back and changing their game plan. So the Golden State Warriors, right, they're going to come out and they're going to launch threes like they always do. But the difference is going to be is the paint. The paint is going to be the factor. Can they rebound more? Can they go in the paint more? Can they have less fouls? Those are going to be the deciding factors. So we're going to see. And Game 3 is pivotal. It is pivotal. Teams who win Game 3, majority win the series. So we'll see what happens with the Golden State Warriors going to LA on Saturday, prime time. The whole world's watching. I can't wait. So tune in on Saturday and then definitely be back for that. Trust me, because whatever happens in Game 3 is going to alter the series. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If the Warriors win in LA, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be chaos. There's gonna be chaos amongst the Laker fan base and social media. And if the Warriors do lose, then we're gonna hear that the big three is over. So it's gonna go both ways. It's gonna be crazy. Stay tuned. I appreciate you guys kicking with us for the last 20 minutes. It's gonna be a great Saturday. We got more to come. The Phoenix series. I got a lot to talk about that. Game three is gonna be Friday. Yeah, Friday. So they're down 0-2. They gotta protect home court in the Valley of the Sun. The 6-0-2, Phoenix. So hopefully they can get it together, but we have more to talk about that. Got to give a lot of credit to MB for getting his MVP. You know, that guy deserves it. You know, his journey was, impeccable where he came from, learning basketball at the age of 15, 16. Then we got to talk about the Sixers as well. You know, Embiid in the playoffs is 1-9 against the Celtics, but we'll break that stuff down to you in the coming days. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all kicking in me in the last 20 minutes. Hope y'all enjoy the show. Thumbs up if you can. Subscribe, all that good stuff. We're on every single streaming platform out there, from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., all that good stuff, iHeartRadio. Until then, man, y'all be safe, man. Playoffs is lit. Woo!